You're listening to Drummer Daily, the only daily podcast dedicated just to drummers, for a free video series explaining how you can become rock solid at playing drums with a click track in just 2 weeks in as little as 20 minutes per day. Visit boomclick.net. Well, hello again. Welcome back to Drummer Daily. This is the first episode of 2017 for me. And so I'm taking a little time off, like I hope you were able to do as well, around Christmas and New Year's. For me personally, I'm kind of a workaholic, because I love what I do. I love everything about, what I get to do right now for a living. And, so it's not just that I'm a workaholic. I'm actually pretty lazy if it comes to things that I don't like doing. But right now, where I'm at, I get to do so many cool things that I enjoy. This is not bragging. I'm just thankful that I have the opportunity to do it. But I'm so thankful that I get to be here and do these things, like record this podcast for you. And so to take some time off, it's fun and it's nice and relaxing. But after a certain amount of time, you get the itch, you get the twitch that you need to do something. I want to make something productive. I want to interact with you and other drummers. And so I'm so glad that I'm back at it. And so let me see here. Before I get into what I want to talk about today, I'll just kind of catch up with where we're at, what I've been up to. So last week we went to Cleveland for a couple of days. My wife's family is up in Cleveland, Ohio. So we went up there, hung out kind of in between Christmas and New Year's. Got back home on New Year's Eve. And what else? So that's kind of been going on. Did that. Today up here, I'm sitting behind my drums again. Last week I sat behind my drums to record all the podcasts, and I was like, I bet you can hear in my voice how happy I am sitting behind a drum set. So I thought it's kind of inspiring to sit here while I talk about drums. So I'm sitting behind my drum set again. I bet you can hear the twinkle in my eye, the mistiness that I get just thinking about sitting behind drums. Anyway, so I'm sitting behind my drums, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I just got done. I do some tracking, some professional drum tracking up here in the studio, and I'm trying to improve some specific aspects of the sound that I'm getting. And one thing I'm dealing with, there's a lot of crazy, weird ceilings in this room. Sloped and a lot of strange walls and things like that. And it actually helps the sound in a lot of ways, but it does make it difficult for certain, like overhead sounds. So anyway, all that to say, I just got done measuring with a tape measure a bunch of different pieces on the wall and the ceiling and things. I'm getting a guy to send me some quotes for doing some sound panels, some sound absorbing panels, some custom panels to help with some of that. So I did that. And so kind of thinking back in the mentality of getting some things done. Oh, and one last thing. A few of you who know me well or listen to the podcast for a while, you might know that I do Bootcamp, which is a 14-day online video program where you can get rock solid with a click track, playing with a click track in 14 days, guaranteed. And you can get started for as little as $37 on that. But I have that program, and a few of you are like, hey, I know who you are, and it's kind of annoying that when I go to boomclick.net that I don't have an option right there just to jump in and register, pay the $37 and just jump in and take the program. I have to sign up with my email address and then wait 4 days as I get 4 videos that introduced me to the idea of Boomclick Bootcamp, and then I get the access to the link to actually buy the program. I already know who you are. I'm convinced. I just want to do it. So give me a way to do it. So I'm working on a new webpage just for people like you who already know me, because what I do is the thinking behind going to boomclick.net and then you don't have access to the program, you have to enter your email and you get 4 free videos over 4 days that kind of explain the principles and the thoughts behind it. And then you get an opportunity to register for Boomclick Bootcamp. The reason I did that is because I want people to know me a little bit before I offer to help them with something. I especially ask you to pay some of your hard-earned money to get access to that and get some, what I think is life-changing, some life-changing abilities and new skills at playing drums. I don't want to just say, hey, nice to meet you, buy this thing from me. So I want you to get to know me a little bit. And so a lot of people, that works really well, and people I want to help people regardless of whether or not they buy something from me. That's not what this is about. That's why I do this podcast and have to blog and do all these other things that I do, is I want to help people. But I know that no one I want people to know me before I ask them for anything. So the 4 videos are there to kind of do that. And also the 4 videos will equip you if you decide not to do the boot camp. You still can walk away equipped 100% to create your own program, just like Boomclick Bootcamp, and do it yourself if you want to. My hope, of course, is that you'll just jump in and do the program that I've already created for you. But if you don't, I want you to be equipped and inspired to do it. So that's what the 4 videos are for. But if you're listening to this podcast or you subscribe to my newsletter, you already kind of know who I am, and you might already understand the value of Boomclick Bootcamp, and you just want to start. So anyway, I'm working on a new webpage and a new address that you can go to soon that will let you just jump right in if you want to, and not have to wait. You can still access all 4 videos. They're all on the same page, basically. But it's just a much cleaner, much smoother process for you to get into it. But if you want to get in right now, before I do that, before I get that page up, you can just go to boomclick.net and you'll see there's just a little video. There's an offer there that says, hey, sign up and you get 4 free videos. If you just click that button and put in your name and your email address, you'll be immediately taken to a page that has the first video on it. But right alongside that video is a promo for the bootcamp where it just says start now, I think, or get started, something like that. And you can click that button and you go straight to the order page and start the whole process. So that's a little secret if you are interested in that. Okay, so today I got an email from, or maybe yesterday, an email from my friend Josh, who said, hey, you should maybe do a podcast episode about professional auditions. Like you're auditioning for a pop singer or a country singer or whatever, just a professional, someone's looking for a drummer and you're a drummer going in for an audition. What is that process like? What is it like when you go in and do that? So I thought I would share that with you a little bit. And in fact, I'm actually going to do another episode tomorrow that goes a little further into one aspect about the audition that made the difference, I think, for me. So the audition is an interesting thing, but I've done a few of them. I haven't done it'd be depressing. I know, it's not like auditioning as a musician is not like the stories you hear in Hollywood about actors who just audition and audition. There's not like open auditions all the time for a ton of, drummers out there. Normally what happens is, a drummer leaves a touring gig or whatever for any variety of reasons, and there's an opening. Most of the time you hear about it from someone that a friend says, hey, I'm looking for a drummer, would you be interested in auditioning? I know this other person, this guy over here that I know is the MD, the musical director for this touring artist. Would you be interested in auditioning, or can I give him your info? Anyway, there's a lot of emails exchanged or whatever. Yeah, that happens. I've seen a few actually of my friends, because I'm in Nashville, so I have a lot of friends who are in the music business. A few of them have posted like, hey, we're looking for a drummer. Let me know your info, or let me know if you know anybody. And so that kind of happens on Facebook every once in a while as well. And then my friend Derek Williams has a website called that'smygig.com. So it's That's My Gig. And that's a cool membership site where you actually get access to legit professional audition and touring opportunities, like legit. Now it's all levels, so it's not just big touring opportunities. There's regional and other kinds of touring musician opportunities there as well. But they do post quite a few really big touring opportunities. He used to play guitar for Jake Owen, a country artist, and he's a great guitar player, a great businessman, but he has this resource there as well. So if you're interested in that, go there. You can probably see some stuff there as well. But anyway, so that's kind of how I found out about the audition. So the audition itself is every audition I've done has been at a rehearsal space. So like Nashville has a couple of different companies that just have big rehearsal halls. Like it's like you go in and it's like a big, I think like not like storage, because that's not really accurate, but there's one called Soundcheck, there's one called SIR. I know SIR is located they have a location in LA and a location in New York as well. But you go in and there's all these rooms, some are small, some are big warehouses where like you can put like in a whole arena, you can set up a whole, arena size stage, and lights and PA and everything and do that. Because bands rehearse there as well for tours. But anyway, you go into a rehearsal space and it's kind of a cool process. By the way, these rehearsal halls are cool. I remember when I did my audition for Rebecca St. James back years and years ago, I think we were at Soundcheck, and there are 4 big rooms at Soundcheck in Nashville, I think. And I don't remember who was in one room, but the other 2 rooms, one was Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder, which was cool. And I knew his daughter from high school. So that was still cool there. And then the other one was Kings of Leon. We're rehearsing for a tour. So it's like you walk in, there's all these cool things happening, and you just walk by, and they're just walking down the hall. Just, once you get through security, you're in, they know you're legit. So it's like kind of cool. Anyway, that was kind of a movie-like experience, seeing Kings of Leon there years and years ago. That was really cool. Anyway, so the actual audition process though is a lot of times they have, like the auditions I've been in, I've auditioned, like the fewest number of guys I've gone up against in an audition is about 8. 8, as many as 12 I've auditioned against for gigs. And so the whole band is always there, the band, because they want to see how you play, with them in a real musical scenario. So all the auditions I've been, the rest of the band is there. The artist may or may not be there. I've had both happen. Depending on the size of the gig. A lot of times, if the bigger the gig, the artist may not be there for that audition. It'll be more of just a band, and the musical director is kind of the one who's judging everybody and kind of passing on the word to the management and the artist. But there will be they'll always videotape the auditions as well, and then some of them will multi-track, like really record it professionally. Some will just record, a little for reference. They'll record the audio a little less professionally. But I've always been like with all these. Normally, it's like, hey, come prepared to play these 2 or 3 songs, and so that's what you do. You learn those 2 or 3 songs. They'll have the click tracks, the backing tracks normally there to play along with. So you bring your in-ears, you bring your sticks, you might bring a snare and cymbals, just depending on how quickly the turnaround is. Like when I auditioned with 12 guys, it was, we were going 9 to 5. The band was there 9 to 5 all day, auditioning 12 different drummers, one after the other in 30-minute segments. So you want to get there, get set up quickly, not spend too much time messing with stuff, and then sit down and it's all right, let's play this song first, get everything set and go. And it's how well can you adapt? And the thing is that you don't have much time to get ready, and that can be kind of daunting, but you got to keep in mind that when you play festivals, for example, outdoor festivals, you have maybe 10 minutes to switch your stage set over, get your drums set up, get everything exactly how you want it, get your monitors, work with the monitor engineer to get your levels set. So you kind of have to know how to handle, adverse situations, and not the best mix and not the best, setup, not the best tuning, everything as quickly as possible. So you play through the few songs. Hopefully you don't crash and burn. And hopefully you're playing, the arrangement of whatever they want you to play is the same as what you learned. And so you do all that. And then you do the songs and they say, thank you very much. You pack up your stuff and you leave, and you hope you get a phone call later. And that's really it. I think that answers all the questions that I got about it as far as what it's like. And that's kind of the process for every audition that I've been in. That's basically it. You show up, you play the couple of songs they told you to play, and then you'll say bye and you're done. And so it can be daunting. You don't really get much feedback there. I will say that most guys are really nice, and so they always make you feel good about what you're doing while you're there. It doesn't feel very nerve-wracking necessarily. They're very reassuring. Most professional musicians are very nice. But it's not, at the same time, it's like everyone's nice, but then you leave and you hope you hear back. That's pretty much it. I will say that I did hear a story. I have a friend who auditioned for a very, very, very well-known mainstream hip-hop artist, like one of the biggest hip-hop artists of all time. He auditioned for this artist, and the artist wasn't there, but the musical director was there, and he came in to play drums, and I believe he might have gotten 4 bars, and this guy's like, by the way, this drummer is like a monster drummer, like insane, really, really good. So it's not about being good enough necessarily, but 4 bars in, I think it was at most, he was not playing, what they were looking for, and so they just stopped right there and said, "Thanks, see you later. Next, we gotta move on." And he had 4 bars to audition for this hip hop artist, and that was it. So, and if you're in the Christian music world, things don't happen like that. I haven't heard anything like that happening, but this was not in that. But everyone's professional, and they don't want to waste their time, and so that's what happens. So that's what an audition is like. But tomorrow, what I want to share with you is, when I got the gig with Rebecca, which again is a long time ago, and I know it kind of sounds like the high school football player who can't let go of it. But you gotta understand, like at the time it happened, it was a life-changing experience. It felt like I was in a movie. And it's kind of the basis for Boom Click Bootcamp. That's the gig that I got that I discovered the process for getting really solid with the click track. So it really did change my life in a lot of ways. I met my wife through Rebecca, and so I kind of always look back on that as like a pivotal moment for me in my life. But anyway, I want to share with you really the one thing that I think set me apart from all the other drummers. And I actually found this out to be true later when I I stayed friends with some of those guys. And one of them told me later what set me apart from the other drummers and what got me the gig basically. And strangely enough, I have another friend who went on to be the musical director for one of the largest pop bands in history. And he had a similar experience for getting a gig with them. And so I want to share that with you tomorrow. But I know this podcast has gone on so long, so thanks for sticking with me. I'm glad to be back in it. I've got some really cool episodes coming up this week, so I hope you get a chance to listen to all of them. And thanks for listening. Let me look and see. I'm curious how long this episode is. 17 minutes. My goodness. Well, I hope you got through your drive or wherever you're going or whatever you're doing while you're listening to this safely. But I guess I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.